Welcome back to Baking It Down, presented by the Waffle House Football League. I'm Hayden Tiemann.
And I'm your other host, Chamber Gillette, and oh boy, was this a great week for football. Let's get right into the matchups.
Kicking things off, we have our matchup between new head coach Brian and Wisdom of the Stroud versus Sean and his standout team. Brian would claim his first win of the season thanks to Derrick Henry and company, 99-88.
The Johnsonville Hot Dogs will end up taking over the happy endings and giving them a sad endings for the first week of football with a close score of 128 to 127. Thanks to Johnsonville's Lamar Jackson having a total of 209 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 70 rushing yards to help take the lead.
Big Brown Dak versus Show Me Your TDs in a matchup where Christian McCaffrey shows up in a big way for Todd and the Daks.
With Mahomes even scoring 29 fantasy points, it is not enough for Show Me Your TDs to take the lead, with a score of 124 to 100. Now for our next matchup, probably the closest score we've ever had in Waffle House history. Boone Valley Bitches doing the impossible and taking the lead from Las Vegas Rancheros, with Josh Allen leading the charge with a solid 44 fantasy points, the highest this week out of any player.
That's right. Josh Allen's comeback win with 394 passing yards and 4 total touchdowns on Sunday night was what cemented Boone Valley's smallest possible margin of victory, beating Las Vegas by 106.2 to 106.15. In a quarterfinal rematch from last season, we have yet another similar result between Brock's bold team and the Denver Chicken Nuggets. James Cook led the Chicken Nuggets with 22.5 points from 13 carries for 44 yards and 1 touchdown. Denver wins 124 to 104. Unfortunately, that brings us to our last matchup of the week between my Green Bay Snackers and Chambers Raw Sauce Gillette.
For our last matchup of this week, the Green Bay Snackers takes a beat down from the Raw Sauce Gillettes with a good performance of 133 points to 97. Thanks to Justin Herbert leading the charge, only 2 of the Green Bay Snackers players reached their projections for the week. Better luck next time, Hayden.
Yeah, things did not go my way. I made basically all the wrong calls, so it is what it is. It's a long season, plenty of time to bounce back, and I'll be back in 11 weeks to get my revenge. Just you wait, Chamber. With that loss behind me, let's move on to the good, the bad, and the ugly, with our good selection being the Johnsonville Hot Dogs deciding to play 93rd draft pick Mbuka over 52nd Metcalf. This 11.4 point difference between the players ensured the Hot Dogs would walk away with a win this week. Our expert analyst who makes all the graphics for the good, the bad, and the ugly, Casey, was apparently indecisive this week on who to give the bad selection to. So we have our slew of options, starting with Wisdom of the Stroud deciding to play Joe Burrow and A.J. Brown for a combined 12 points. The Rancheros failed to play Justin Fields, while the Daks selected to leave Zay Flowers at home. And lastly, we have Sean playing the combination of Nico Collins and Xavier Worthy for a lackluster 5.6 points combined. For the ugly selection this week, we have the worst of Sean's decisions playing Xavier Worthy. Although I cannot blame him for failing to predict Worthy getting hurt, that doesn't change the fact that 0.1 points is abysmal, and he still lost. And for this week, we couldn't let Darius's loss to Lucas slide, so of course we have an even uglier selection of playing Brock Purdy over Justin Fields. Leaving 12 points on the bench has got to sting when you lose by so little. How I managed to stay off all those lists today is beyond me, but we'll take the small victories where we can get them.
Now to our Week 1 standings with Raw Sauce Gillette, Johnsonville Hot Dogs, and Denver Chicken Nuggets at the 1, 2, and 3. Then below them, we have Big Brown Dak, Boone Valley Bitches, and Wisdom of the Stroud to finish out the top 6.
On the bottom half of the standings, we have Houston in 7th, followed by Las Vegas and Brock. In 10th, there is Show Me, then Green Bay, and finally Sean.
Heading into our Week 2 matchups, we're going to start off with Wisdom of the Stroud versus Raw Sauce Gillettes, Boone Valley Bitches versus Houston Happy Endings, Las Vegas Rancheros versus Sean's standout team. Then Johnsonville Hot Dogs will take on the Denver Chicken Nuggets. Green Bay Snackers versus Show Me Your TDs. And to end it off, we have Big Brown Dak versus Brock's Bold Team.
Moving on to our game of the week, we have number 2 Johnsonville versus number 3 Denver. Chamber, what are you looking to see from these teams going into this week 2 matchup?
Well, I could really see this matchup going either way this week. Both teams having some really good players. Lamar Jackson and Saquon Barkley combo for Johnsonville Hot Dogs is a big threat. But no worries, I do think Denver Chicken Nuggets does have some players. Devon A-Chain projected a total of 21 points this week. James Cook as both the running backs. Again, I could really see this going either way. Hopefully, Brian Thomas Jr. will have more than one catch. That rushing TD really saved him last week.
I guess we'll have to wait and see how things play out in the coming week.
Well, that will end off things for this week of Baking It Down. Again, I was your host, Chamber Gillette. Good luck to everyone for next week. I am very excited for this year of football and fantasy.